All right, we are coming to you from the brand new Impact X marketing studio. That's what we're calling it.
That's
right?
what we're calling it.
Yeah, it's an amazing space.
Thank you.
And I'm honored to be here today. And I was just told I'm leading the show. So we're gonna wing it.
You're gonna be our biggest client. You know, you don't even know it yet. But
I've already sent you money. We were the first to use the space, which was amazing, and we'll get into that. But let's do some quick intros as to who we have here. I feel like Morgan should go first.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I am Morgan Mielnicki. I'm the director of social media marketing for the Sentinel and for Impact X Marketing.
I'm Brad Waters. I own all this stuff and try to make it work. Owner of the Sentinel and owner of Impact X, and just winging it. We'll see what happens.
I'm Emily Broomfield, and I'm a social media specialist at Impact X Marketing. I'm also a business owner as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into it. What is Impact X Marketing?
Why is everyone, literally both of you looked at me.
I know, both were like, let's
You're
go
just in
Morgan
my
right
line
now.
of sight. So.
Impact X was created probably a year and a half ago at this point. Just knowing that being in the media space, obviously with Sentinel Media and the Daily Sentinel as our main product, we were getting so many inquiries for other sources of advertising. So our account executives would come in and be like, this account needs social media, or this account needs a new website. And it just wasn't happening that people in the community were coming to a newspaper to ask for those products. And that's kind of where we took it and ran with it. We were already getting the leads coming in. So like, how can we use that to our advantage? Basically, I started taking on individual social media clients through the Sentinel. And then Brad and I had a discussion that we really thought that Impact X, just with its initial growth, could be its own business and take on not only social media clients, but that whole digital package. And here we are in Impact X Studios.
Yeah, it's just a different vibe. When you think of the legacy paper, even though we're digital, we've been doing websites for like 15 years. It's just hard for people that when you've been around for 160 years to change what the Sentinel is, and which is fine, which is great because legacy is good, but it really needed a different brand and a different vibe and in its own home. And it's been fun to find this place at the Landmark building and already built as radio station studios back in the day. So you shut that door, you can't hear anything that's going on the outside. So it was everything kind of aligned, and here we are trying to keep up.
Yeah, let's give the listeners kind of a tour as to what you have going on here in this space.
Yeah, so we have 2 dedicated podcast studios. Each wall, if you cut to Morgan, each wall, there's one wall there, and we can do different hangs, and we can change the background. We have a TV. We obviously have a plain white, and this is also, without screwing up the lighting, if you open up, this is the corner of Genesee Street, right by Adirondack Bank. Yeah. So we can open it up and have like a news vibe. And then obviously cutting to you, we have a darker background and also a full window. And then on the other studio, we have 3 other scenes as well. And that's just the studios. And then we have on the main floor, we have backdrops for photography, headshots, group shots, magazine cover shoots. And we'll be expanding that more and more as we kind of get comfortable around here and seeing what photographers need in the area. And then just a living area out there just to hang out and get some work done. And then we have a studio room right behind the screens here where we can kind of shut the doors, start editing on everything without getting in the way of everybody else. So it was just a perfect first launch of having 3 things going on or 4 things going on at the same time, and everybody's in their own room and in their own space. So just we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing space. My only knock on it is that camera adds 20 pounds. So if you are going to rent this, make sure you don't go on that camera. Well, I'm taking one for the team right now.
All right. Well, we'll work on backing it up, longer
Thanks
lens. Josh, can we get some orders? We'll work on that.
Emily, talk a little bit about social media, how it's evolved, and how people can utilize this space to basically look better on social.
I think social media is crazy, and when businesses don't utilize social media, I kind of like take a step back and I'm like, why aren't you? I've been doing social media for over 8 years right now for my own businesses. That's how I started. I have rentals up in Barneveld, and that's when I really saw how much of an impact social media had, because all of our revenue basically came from social media posts. So that's when I was like, oh, small businesses needed it. And then I aligned with Morgan and Brad, which was perfect. And we all kind of got together, and it was the perfect amount of people same like mind. And I know I'm kind of like on the spot right now. It's my first official podcast. But
Yeah,
I know, fancy.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know it.
I know, right? I didn't even. I
You
just
got like
got
30
blown.
seconds notice.
Yeah, 30
You
seconds.
did jump right in though.
Yeah, jump right in. That's
And
perfect.
You absolutely nailed it, because like on the social side, it's the searches on social are almost to, or if not surpassed in certain areas, the searches on Google, and
Yeah.
a lot of companies aren't realizing that yet. So it's when people are looking for a coffee shop, it's not what's near me on Google anymore. It's going to TikTok,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so you have to. That's like your first interview now. Like if you don't set a good vibe on social, then they're going to try to find the next one.
Yeah.
And that's why the delivery of what you're doing on social is your personality. We're even telling CEOs to get up on it, because it's almost the interview has switched. So your first interview usually was in a room like this. You sit across from the executive and then you chat. But like the employees now are, oh, do I want to work for this person before even getting in the door?
Yep.
Like what's going on with their employees? What's their vibe like in the office?
Well,
so
you can tell their culture through their social
Yeah.
media a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
exactly. So this is the time to for us to launch this and see that kind of happening. And it's already happened. If you're not on social yet, you're behind. And
You're closed.
if you need help,
Yes.
reach out. We'll have a website coming
Yes.
soon.
Like,
Yeah.
even when I travel to, like, I don't, like Brad said, I don't go on Google to find coffee shops or like cool restaurants. I'm on TikTok because I'm like, oh, I see like real life people making a video, just like going in there, and I'm like, okay, that's a cute coffee shop in Tampa, Florida. I'm gonna go there because there was like 5 other people, or that posted it on
Sure.
TikTok. Yeah,
Cute enough to make a TikTok.
yeah,
so-
cute enough to make a TikTok. Yes.
So, it's a wild time in the business world, and we're shifting from, it used to be the corporate brand that people looked to and trusted, and that is diminishing at rapid speed. And now people are the new brand. And so we were talking about this off camera, but when we use the word influencer, we immediately think of like huge names, right? The Joe Rogans of the world. But if you have an audience of a few hundred, right, or even 1,000, and you become a thought leader in that space, you are influencing those people in their potential buying decisions. So how do you get people to A, understand that, and then B, where do they start?
I mean, we chatted on this briefly, but we have a lot of clients that work for themselves. So they're a solo entrepreneur, or they just are in sales or need to get their brand out there, or it's a local business. So it's so important not only for them to be in front of the camera because they're creating that relationship with the outside world. And basically people are learning just in this podcast, they're getting our personalities, they're figuring out how we're answering and what our body language is saying. But with that, even the average person, like anyone, can really be an influencer in whatever they want to influence, whatever you're passionate about. So for me, I love going to TJ Maxx. So maybe it's TJ Maxx hauls. But I'm an influencer for TJ Maxx. I mean, I'm just giving an
You on
example. But
payroll?
what?
You on payroll?
No, not
You
yet.
should be.
No, but it's so important. And whatever you want to like basically post about, or whatever you're passionate about, or whatever your business is, you can really be an influencer in that space. I know we were talking toward you, Scott, like wherever you're going, people are following you, and it's nothing to do with insurance. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's all these other events or things that are happening in the community, and you're seen as an influencer in that space.
Yeah, it's funny. I often say that insurance agent is what I do, but it's not who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big mistake that a lot of businesses make is in the past, historically, with advertising, it's, what we're offering. And, now it's, this is who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a sports fan.
Relatable.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
And it's that KLT, that know, like, and trust. And so how do you guys work with people to build that brand?
I think I'm taking this one because it's so important. We work with clients that do not want to be on camera, do not want to be on video, like don't want to be in front of the presence of the community. But people, like I said, are creating that relationship with you. Some of our clients that we started with, they're like, I don't want to be on camera, very, very nervous, can't even like say the first line. And now they're like jumping in the air and doing like trending TikToks. Like we have just grown so much.
Yes.
But it is so important that they're being in front of the camera just so people know. People love the behind the scenes. They want to see who's running the business. They like kind of touched on. They want to see how fun the background is. Like we help Utica Coffee with their social media, and you could tell just by watching their socials that like the environment there is super fun. It's welcoming. They're willing to do really fun TikToks. So the culture is like laid back and not super structured. in the sense of like the coffee, the actual cafe, but you should be on camera and it's okay to not want to be. And that's kind of why we're here. If you are shy or don't want to be in front of camera, we kind of start from the beginning and work your way up.
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And like just posting is having any presence is just a must right now.
Yeah.
And how do you go viral? No one actually knows. Yeah. Mr. Beast might have figured out the model, but he's one of the few,
Sure.
And actually what he just posted was a 10-year video that he scheduled 10 years ago predicting what he would do. And it's really kind of cool to see about how he just needed to grind. And he was hoping to have 1 million subs in 10 years. And now he has 500 million, so it's just posting, having a presence is our number one goal. What comes out of it is how we tweak going forward, making you comfortable in front of the camera, making sure there's static posts, carousels, different kinds of vibes, educational and selling posts. So like there's all this stuff that goes into it, but you have to do it. You can't just throw up on it and just do it all at once. It is a process. It is a building block. And the team will build out scripts for them and learn about every single business and how and what should be sold, what should be a selling TikTok, what should be an educational TikTok, and building that. The other trend that I'm seeing more now is you can't just have one line or one brand, especially when you're a bigger company, because everybody wants a specialist in whatever you're looking for. So if you're in commercial furniture and a company's looking for glass walls, you better have a specialist line of glass walls on your site, or a special handle or TikTok that follows just like glass walls, because everybody wants a specialist in whatever they're looking for. It's not just a broad scope anymore. And that's where sub brands are becoming so important in whatever they're doing. And we're kind of helping guide that. And financial advisors have an incredible breadth of knowledge in different areas. Sure. And so, okay, so what do you want to specialize now? And then what other channels can we create? So when they come in through trending or hashtags or whatever it may be, that portion will come up, and then they'll find you. So those are the two things that we're working with mostly. And this allowed us to have an entry point, because you have to have a good website and good social. Everything else is scaled from there. If you don't have those two things, we got to start there. You got to have somewhere to send people, and then you got to start working on the social side.
And what's amazing about this space and what you guys are doing is in business, you need time, interest, and knowledge. And so many business owners are great at what they do, but they don't have the time, interest, and knowledge for stuff like this, which is so important because they're falling behind to others that are in this space.
We hear it every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's from a social media standpoint, right? So we talked about getting started. How do you build an audience, right? Because it's one thing to put something out there, but if no one sees it, like where do people start?
I feel like that's an interesting question. Like kind of going off what Brad said, you really have to just consistently post. And when I say like consistently post, I don't mean like one post like every other week. Like especially if you're a new brand, you're going to be wanting to post multiple TikToks, multiple Instagram reels, YouTube shorts a week just to like really get out there. And then once you say have like 100 short form videos or 100 posts, you can then go back and get a feedback loop and see, okay, these 25 posts did really well. Let me repeat that in a slightly different way and see if the algorithm likes it. And just kind of doing that, and then you grow your audience that way. You're able to see, okay, maybe my demographic is this. I originally came into it and I thought it was completely different, which I think it's cool. But yeah, it is that consistently posting, and then also as a business, kind of knowing what your values are and what you have your business set on. That'll kind of help you build up what you want to kind of go for.
How tricky are the algorithms in keeping up, right? I know it's like this secret society.
They always change though. Like 2 weeks from now it'll be completely different from today. Or like trends too. It's like wild. Like there'll be like a Taylor Swift that is trending right now because her new album's out, but like probably like 2 weeks from now it'll be something else.
We'll have to like call clients. We're like, we have to come today. Like we need to get this trend like right now, or else it's gonna be late.
So in what capacity do you work with people, right? I mean, is it full service? Is it bits and pieces? Is it everything in between?
Being a small business owner, we're all small business owners. We understand what they're going through, and especially Impact X, and especially the legacy of the paper. We're here for local first. Like, of course, we want to work with the bigger clients too. It's just a different experience, but we really want to be able to go into a business, learn you from top to bottom, from whether a trash can's in the wrong spot, we'll tell you, to creating videos, to saying, hey, I really think you should go this way. We'll sit down, do a full audit. Like we have to understand your goals in where you want to go, and also your passion. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? That matters. It varies from company to company. So we are a full service shop as well. We do anything from obviously the social, from scripting and shooting, website designs, e-commerce, Google buys, geotech, like all that stuff. We really can have a full suite. We definitely specialize right now because it's such a need in the social space, but we have the arms of the Sentinel too, which and teams around the country that can do very, very cheap buys, where we have a seat at Google. So our rates are very competitive, even though we're small, just based on our connections. So awesome. It really is a full encompassing marketing suite.
But with that, like, we just did a shoot yesterday, and it was just branding shoot and just headshots for a company. They have someone that runs their social media, but it was just like, hey, we need an outside view for fresh new photos for our website and new headshots for our staff.
Yeah, and that's the
you
best.
might not think of us for that, but like that's where we come in, and it was great because I'm very I'm very particular. So your hair's in the right place. Are you smiling? Is it your best angle? Like, do we have the colors coordinated? Is everyone split evenly in like photos and stuff like that? Like all those little things that like I would hope a business owner would see. Like we have basically someone like overseeing it to make sure that that's all covered.
And that's why we built this shop is the way we did. So if you don't have on-site options, we'll come in. We have backdrops that we can do. We can do knockouts. We can do voiceovers. And that's kind of why
start a podcast
if you want, or because really podcasts are like that angle to get the short form stuff. Yeah. Right. We might talk for an hour here, but what we're looking for is some short clips that eventually you'll see on some social later. Of that's what the growing part is. It's really just an all-in-one.
I feel like that's going to be a short.
Probably.
Right
yeah, probably.
But let's talk about podcasting. And I'm going to maybe go down a slippery slope here, right? Because we're building the Love Living Local 315 podcast. But part of that vision is to build the model and then help people in other communities across the country do the same. But one of the barriers to entry with podcasting is, you don't have this, right? And
well, lucky for you.
Well, here we are. But no, I mean, like I'll listen to the first 30 seconds of a podcast, and if it's echoey or you can't hear people, like I'll bail on it. And so it's one thing to start, which is kudos to you for doing it. But I would say, to do it right. And this gives everyone, it removes that barrier to entry, and then they can come in here, rent this space, and have a professional looking, more professional than Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, and we have all different furniture. So like this, obviously we're sitting in for 4 people, but we have different vibes. We have a higher top table with like roller chairs. Like we can kind of switch it out based on what they want their like mood or theme to be.
I won't lie, like content matters. Yeah. That's first and foremost. Like being passionate and having good content is number one. But number two, kind of echoing what you're saying, is not having to worry about the lighting or audio coming through clear, because a listener will hang on longer if they don't have to have all these other feedback or interruptions kind of coming at them. And you should, it's just like us doing the social for you. You're passionate about something, you want to talk about it. You don't have to become an audio engineer. You don't have to become a photographer or a videographer. Don't worry about that. Just come in, and you don't have to do any learning. It's just you just be an expert in your space, and we'll handle the rest. And that's really what we want to sell.
And the cool thing too is, and this really helps me a lot, is you can screw up in this format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like nothing's live.
Yeah. True.
So the stuff that Josh and John do in post is awesome, right? Like, I mean, last night I filmed a video at a restaurant, and I wanted to highlight what I ate, and I was on camera, I forgot what I ate. So, my wife had to tell me, and then I said it, and then Spina made it look all good in post. So talk a little bit about the team, and talk a little bit about what the different, I guess we've talked about services, but what that can look like in a specialized manner.
I mean, going back a year, probably 4 years ago, when did I first hire you for the Sentinel?
3 years ago in February.
Oh, well, so she knows. The goal was in general just being part of social media. I knew I didn't have that skill set. That was my first hire was Morgan for the Sentinel team, and then together we realized that, okay, this is definitely a bigger need. And having, when we hire for personality, we can teach you other stuff. So like just the vibe that we've created here, you know, between Lexi, Josh, Emily, you know, the collabs we have, that's really what's kind of forming this company. We're just having fun doing it. But it is a lot of work. You know, it is. I don't even want to. I'm glad Morgan isn't hourly. I don't even want to know what that bill would be. But it really is just that team finding people that are fun at a shoot, because our job is to make the client feel relaxed,
Exactly,
and enjoy the shoot. And even though the first shoot is usually sometimes a throwout, it's still fun and it still like opens it. So it's really about hiring people that love what they do, which the team absolutely does, having a great personality and just enjoying helping small businesses. And we're all small business owners. So we they don't have to sell us what it's like to be in their shoes. We know it. Yep. Even this grew as a small business and it still is growing. And so it's just fun to relay that to them.
You mentioned the word vibe more than once, which I dig. And it's a vibe, right? From the location, you know, downtown. To what you've
Ocean
done
Blue
with
right upstairs for a great
and
lunch or cocktail.
Dangerous.
It's very dangerous. There's
so
street tacos. Oh,
we
man.
rented the space, and we invited 4 business owners in, and we did a brand breakaway, we called it, and we set them up in 4 stations. And so Vanessa was working on, you know, their colors and their vibe, you know, that they were going for. I was doing the 30-minute podcast interview, which we could take shorts from, but obviously it's a standalone too. Josh was doing photos. Jay was doing shorts on videos. And so then we went upstairs for lunch, and you guys should get kickbacks for that, because that's not a cheap lunch. But you know, we intentionally brought people in from outside the area, and the feedback, you know, was incredible. I haven't even shared that with you guys yet, but the feedback was incredible. Yeah, it really.
We'll take it.
And
Clip it.
And even since, you know, 2-3 weeks since that's gone by, you've done so much more with the space. So I guess what's the, I don't want to say long term, because I don't even know what long term is in 2025, 6. You know, long term's like 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
But what's the long term vision for this?
I think we got to a point where we can have people come in and having them start guiding, right? You can only go so far with furniture and backdrops and even photography backdrops until you start having people come in, seeing the space. You know, what do you need to work with us? Also, independent photographers or videographers, what do you need in the area? And I think that's why I love our location being in downtown Utica. It's very easy to get to. We're in a quiet section, and I think, you know, we're to the next stage. We're happy where we got to. We're functioning, but we are going to need more talent. I think the studio can operate as a standalone company as well in the podcast space. I think there's enough out there where the studio is going to be on its own, but then the social side is we are going to need more staff. We know the help is needed out there, and eventually I'd love to, if we can move this into another town and just recreate this. This is definitely like a test kitchen in a way. Yeah. It's big enough where it can still make good money, because you have to have multiple rooms. It has to be big enough to do that. You can't run off of one little spot. But yeah, I think we're just kind of going, you know, we talked about what's cool about this job though, is it applies to so many things. So like, if being an entrepreneur, there's something that we're working on, this company fits perfectly into the growth of the other company. Yeah. And so that being a part of building websites and social media, you know, what's needed in whatever we do next. Yeah. And so we kind of build our own background, our own support system by creating this company as well.
Yeah, it's genius. Get deep. This is a big topic.
Oh boy!
So let's
wait.
talk.
Morgan got to preview these questions. I didn't get a list.
This isn't on the sheet.
remember.
So one thing you have to learn about me is I ask the first question and I just make notes. The rest, I don't think I've read any of the questions.
Wait, the conversation went well.
Yeah, I do want to get into AI.
Okay.
Right? Because this is something that, you know, is coming in like a freight train. It's evolving quicker than I think the average person could even comprehend.
Yep.
Where we were 3 years ago to where we are now to where we're going to be 3 months from now is like 100x, right? And so I think we've all spoken to AI bots without knowing it, right? And to the point where I actually got a voicemail from someone claiming to know me, She did, but I'll get there. But I forgot, right? And I thought it was like an AI bot. And I'm like, I'm not falling for this. And then
at least you were ready.
Yeah, so I've fallen for a few, right? So a mutual friend's like, hey, so-and-so was trying to get a hold of him. I'm like, oh, that was really her? I should probably call her back.
I thought she was asking for $10,000.
But that, to the point, is it's very real. The voices are real. The looks are real.
Yep.
Like the content creator, like all of us here, right? What is our role in the future when, frankly, the machine can do it just as well or better in a lot of ways?
So I'm facing this on the newspaper side too. And just like the one thing that AI can't do is real organic yet, right? So like it could probably put together a podcast with some voices and stuff like that, but it wouldn't be in the store that you're trying to actually sell. And so I think what we're trying to create and why we're doing actual on-site shooting, there are some clients that we don't need to go on-site for, and there are things that we can AI or at least have an AI process for in development. But when it comes to like video and being organic like this and having a real conversation and be able to sell that, that's really what we're trying to concentrate on, because we're not like a global marketing firm. We're not the middleman. We're actually creating content. And I know there almost needs to be a different word now, because I know AI can create content, but real world on-site content, it can't do. And I think that's what we're trying to separate ourselves for. Even in the newspaper side, when we're there, we're like, we talked to the person, and we're trying to figure out in coding how to protect our content so it's not scraped. And the more and more scraping that's happening, or the more that we align together in the newspaper industry and blocking bots, the more that they'll start having to paying to get access to organic content. So the more that we can protect organic content, the better we'll be able to fight against bots in AI world. So maybe that's too deep, but that's kind of that's really why I go to conferences and we're learning about what to put in code. So when a bot sees it, it knows it can't use it. Yeah. And so there's just some of the things we're trying to do to protect it.
You guys want to chime in?
Yeah, what do you
Social
guys
media
I'm
world,
curious.
Emily,
I think that we're like touching on what Brad said about like organic. We use AI a lot, just like to plan for shoots, to schedule it out, to make sure that if you want to be scripted, it's scripted. If you want questions asked, we are asking specific questions, like just for the organization of it all. Yes, I think it helps. I don't know that it's taking over our job tomorrow, because the clients that we work with still need social media, whether it's us doing it, AI doing it. Like half of them, I don't know that they would be able to do it fully, but like someone has to be doing it. Yeah. So I don't know that they would necessarily all look into that process to replace what we're already doing, if that makes sense.
And I think the visual side is what's going to protect the truth more, because the audio side can be tricked. And I think that's where video and why we're trying to use video as much as possible, because it is harder to fake video. I mean, it's out there, but you can trust video more than you can trust anything else. Words faked, audio can be faked. A lot of that can be faked. So what can we do to make it as real as possible? So someone's like, yeah, someone's actually in that seat talking. And as we've seen on video, it is possible, but what can we do to make it as real and as personable as possible? Yeah.
This is like off the cuff, but have you guys seen that rabbit video on the trampoline?
No.
That was going viral. Okay, Lexi's seen it.
The young girl.
The young crew.
Okay, so there's this reel that was going viral on Instagram. It was a bunch of bunnies like jumping on a trampoline, and people all thought it was real. And then a bear version came out, and everyone realized that it was AI, but it looked so realistic until you started really looking, and you saw like some like bunnies disappear like mid jump. So I think that's where like AI can like trick you, but then you'll start realizing these like little like mess ups.
I think with that, like along the same lines is now I see so many like AI like Facebook captions and statuses, and I'm like, I'm not even reading any of this because you didn't write a single word. You didn't even do it.
So it'll get to the point where we're so tired of it that it almost will reverse itself.
Exactly.
We'll go back to like
we need to be back to the organic person. Yeah. That's kind of the same thing.
That's my prediction. And again, not to get too deep, but the human brain and soul hasn't evolved that much in thousands of years, and we still want to be seen and heard and loved and made to feel special. And when I'm confused or excited or down, like I want to talk to a human. And I really believe that, to your point, we're going to reach a tipping point where it's going to start going back the other way, where people will start paying more to deal with real life humans in every industry. So it's a tool. I think we all embrace it. We use it to our advantage as best we can, but to replace people,
I don't see that.
I don't see it
happening
happening either.
The way we approach AI is we use it as long as we can also replicate what we're doing when we're in a one-on-one experience or in real person experience, because you don't want to show up on site and have no idea what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Or like go up to an interview and you've done all your AI research or it wrote all these emails for you, but then when you have to show up in person or you have to actually talk about it, can you follow it up? And I think it is always a tool, and I think you're dumb to not use AI,
Sure.
but you better be able to prevent getting yourself into situations where you can't either back up what you're saying or be just fully in tune to what's being
It's a good
presented.
point, man.
Right?
The fake it till you make it,
Yeah.
it only goes so far.
You know,
At
like,
some
we
point, you have
get-
to talk to someone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
when we get
true.
emails and we can say like, "Well, this is AI," and like it's almost an immediate turnoff. And I think this is
Yeah.
where
I
companies
think
companies
we're
need
at
to
that
get
point.
companies need to get it more involved, and part of it is just redoing the employee manual. Honestly, like that is probably one of the best things that companies could do right now is making sure you're up to date on your AI employee manual, because it's going to protect you. And also when your employee eventually screws up using AI, it's at least in there. So just a little tip, like check that process out and check it out. And if you haven't done it, do it, because like we'll see some people that were
I'm like, there's no
surprised
way you're-
they were getting this email from this company. We're like, wow, they clearly didn't care because I just wrote this in AI
Yeah.
and forgot to remove the dashes and replace them with commas or humanize the wording. I mean, there's so many ways to figure out what's AI.
You're not doing cherry bullet,
Yeah.
star bullet,
Yes.
like sparkle bullet. I'm like, you didn't take that much
Even
time.
if it's not in their tone of voice, I feel like people just use ChatGPT and they don't like create a bot for themselves. Because like you can go into like ChatGPT and be like, okay, this is how I normally would talk, blah blah blah, and then it'll literally regurgitate something that sounds more like how you would speak in person. But like you get these people emailing you, and you're like, oh, they sound so like prim and proper, and then you meet them in person and it's like, oh, that's not how you speak at all. I mean, it's fine, but like two different versions of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Talk about Utica, Central New York. You know, the cool thing sitting here in 2025 is this is like something back when I was a kid. I'm the old man on the set here, but you know, this was like an LA thing. Like you had to go find, like there weren't studios like this. You know, I go back to, you know, I was thinking about when I opened this with Charlie Seeley, Forever Leather, right? The beautiful downtown Utica.
Oh my
my goodness.
But you know, to have something like this here, right, and downtown and all the revitalization that's going on. You're all local, you're all business owners. Tell us a little bit about what this area means to you and why you're investing your time and money into it.
Ooh,
Let's hear more. I mean,
Oh,
Morgan's in
boy.
like 50 different things. So I want to hear the summary.
I think, well, first of all, I love being in the Utica area in general. I'm a huge advocate for our area, as most people know, and I'm very involved in this community. I also have a brand all around Utica, products and accessories and all the things. So I think having the studio here, although this is our first launch, so now people really know about like what we've been kind of building. I feel like it goes along with us like revitalizing our community. Like not only do we have X, Y, and Z and all of these things happening, but we also have this podcast studio. And I just think that's like one next step of like elevating our community. Like we're already on this like rise, but having this is like an added, and you can go upstairs and you can have lunch at a rooftop. Like those are all like really like big city things that we have right in our downtown that we might not have had like otherwise. I do think that us building this here, and it's so cool, like we can open the shades and we literally are in watching like cars drive by all day, and like I just think that experience it gives us that bigger city vibe in our community.
The cool thing, and to piggyback on what you're saying, is within like a 3-block radius, you can get downtown pictures. You can get pictures against the mural. We've got trees. We've got the modern, you know, upstairs backdrop. But then you can go to the train station. You can go to the Stanley, right? And so just within a few blocks of here, whatever vibe you're looking for, you guys can offer.
Yeah, it was just creating. There have been smaller studios around here, and we've been in them and we've shot in them. But it was set up. It was harder for people to just start off in like a small vibe, small controlled, and not go live with it right away, to having 5-6 people on set and still be able to cover that. So that was something that was unique to the area. And Syracuse, I think, might have one or two. Albany, but when I did the search, I was like, oh, there really isn't a studio dedicated to kind of like this audio video side of things. You know, WKTV obviously can do the TV stuff, but it is a TV set. It's very different. And so we created something very different. The next thing that I'm looking at creating it's called a cyclorama. I was like, okay, where can we get seamless backdrops where we can do video shoots and photography in a very unique area? I was like, well, you have to either go to Rochester or Albany to try to find that. So we're creating a support system to the entrepreneurs on the audio video side too, where they can just come in and we'll rent it to you, do whatever you want with it. We'll supply the tech if you need it. We're here to support if you want to expand it, but come in, and try to make it affordable, but we still need to survive and making the studio work. But it was creating an open-ended, and there'll be a calendar available, there'll be bookings available, there'll be we'll start shooting the different scenes and what we have for gear and stuff like that. We haven't gone public, and here's the reason why you can't find us is we're literally been trying to catch up with our current clients. So we do have a website coming for both the studio side and for the marketing side. So that will be coming, but we might need to hire before we fully do that. Because again, we don't want to. What we promise, we deliver. We were never going to put ourselves in a situation where we're going to outreach what we can do. And I think that's what also won us some clients is that we're going to tell you if this makes sense for you, or how we feel about it, or if this is going to be the right vibe in general, just because it matters, the relationship between your marketing company and the business. And so we're just real. I have to do it in the Sentinel. It's transparency. And I tell my staff this, never put me in a situation I can't back up. Yeah. And that's how we're kind of running this company as well.
I grew up in Poland, so I've been here my whole life, but I went to college out of town, and I've always traveled. Like Morgan knows, I love traveling. Brad obviously knows I love traveling when I send the calendar invites.
Between the two of you, there's someone out of the state. I don't.
Like, oh, Morgan's going to Paris in November. Where was my invite?
We're hiring offer hybrid model.
We love a flexible schedule.
We love a flexible
the
schedule.
Photographer behind the scene, the videographer is from Austin,
Texas.
No big deal. Anyway.
But yeah, so I love traveling and doing all of that, but it's nice going out and seeing other things, but being so grateful to come home to what Utica is and what the surrounding area is. Because it is nice because you get the downtown area, but then you go 15 minutes up where I am in Barneveld and you are in the country. And it's so much to offer because it's oh, I want to be by myself for a little bit. I'm going to go up north. Oh, I want to get coffee. Let me sip down to Utica Coffee or wherever. Yeah. So I feel like it's a nice combination of everything.
We joke about the travel, but I do think it's important, right? To leave the area.
Oh, yeah.
And Graz is bringing back all the trendy stuff from Austin, and you're over in Paris, and but you learn things there, and ultimately are bringing them back here. So Brad already hit on the last question, which is how do we find you? You can't. It's underground right now, but it sounds like they're hiring. And if you want, we talk about office culture.
We're always hiring,
and a cool place to work. And I do a lot of career days at high schools, and every kid just about wants to be a content creator. Right? This is the new everyone wants to get into this space. So if you're young and you're hungry and you're looking to learn from some of the best, there truly is an opportunity here. So send in your.
Yeah, I think to add to that, when we get Josh to move back here,
because he will.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We what we want to do is we do want to work with the colleges more. I think I've talked to the presidents already about building a curriculum around social media marketing in general, because it is going to be it is a boom. It is something that has to be in the curriculum now, but they usually lag. So we want to open up the studio also for learning opportunities to bring, whether it's interns in or having an offsite educational aspect where you can show you, hey, this is how you run small audio video stuff. Because unless you're in broadcasting, you really don't get that taste. And you don't have to go to that level to understand what we're doing in this room. It can be quite simple, but understanding the basics of social media, understanding the basics of the audio video side, we're hoping to work with Hamilton College, Utica College, SUNY Poly, because we're going to need engineers to sit in the room too. And that's what we want to offer when people come in here. You're not going to be alone. You're not going to have to figure this stuff out. We're going to help you with it. And so that's going to be our next community give back in a way is just working with the colleges, the high schools on how we can expand what we're learning and give it to them immediately. Because you can literally apply it to your own life and brand and then bring it to whatever company you're going to.
It's awesome.
So,
well, Morgan, Brad, Emily, Impact X Marketing Studios.
And Lexi,
Graz, Sabina.
Graz.
Yeah,
Everybody. We got a lot of people in this room.
Hey.
Yeah. This has been an absolute pleasure. And personally, I'm excited to utilize the space for our podcast. It is that vibe we're looking for. Jay and I were looking at how to build something like this out, and it's not cheap. So that's the first thing.
It's a very expensive room.
Yeah, back that time, interest, knowledge, and money piece, and then he introduced me to Brad, and I'm like, holy cow, this is exactly what we want. Let's just rent here.
Perfect.
And so we're
That's
excited to be here as well.
Welcome
So,
home.
Yeah, thank you.